Today I'm hunting for the best salt to flavor some of my cooking. And there's no question the ocean is the best source for the most flavorful salt. These Hawaiians, they have a way with salt like nobody else in the world.
Salt is sacred to Hawaiians, and the culture of salt in Hawaii runs deep through their history. I'm a chef that loves to mix up different flavors, and I think a perfect match for sea salt is the sweet flavor of honey. And they make some of the best honey in the world right here in Hawaii.
We'll talk more about that honey later, but first I want to show you how you can take a common ingredient like salt and use it to give your cooking a unique edge. You can do it if you know where to look. Behind me is the Pacific Ocean, and running right beneath my feet is a pipeline that reaches deep below the surface, delivering seawater that produces some of the most pure and flavorful salt in the world.
I met Teresa Fernandez at the Kona Sea Salt Company, and I was blown away by the rustic nature of their operation. This place takes salt making and simplifies it to its core.
Well, welcome. This is our salt house. This is one of our salt houses where we dry our Kona Sea Salt. You know, our salt is an artisan salt. There's nothing but the sun that dries it from these ancient waters. And this is what you have here. It's just pure deep sea water.
It just came right out of that ocean over there.
Yes.
Piped right into here, and this is where it's laying.
Yep.
The sun is a perfect energy. I mean, it's natural. It just is going to evaporate this water, and then how long will that take?
It depends. It could take about an average of 6 weeks, depending on the weather, if the weather's cooperative or not.
Your salt is actually very good for us, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
it's just something our body needs. Would you say that's true? Or
This salt in particular, because of where it comes from, is up to about 48% lower in sodium. than table
48%
salt.
lower
Yes.
in sodium? And that's incredible, but what I like about it most is the flavor and the way it has this ability to bring out the best in everything it touches. You know, it's unlike any salt that I've ever seen before.
Craig, this is another of our salt houses. This water has been drying now for 4 weeks.
Holy mackerel, it's such a difference. It's all frosty, and you know, it looks like ice. It's
Well,
beautiful.
Yeah, we like to call it our white diamonds.
Yeah, I can see that. It's gorgeous looking. I gotta taste some. Can we go taste some?
Sure, let's go outside and have
Great.
some.
So Teresa, the first thing I noticed about this salt is that it is remarkably different looking than any salt I've seen before. Why is that?
You're right, it is different. There's probably no other salt like it. This salt is produced from water that is over 2,000 feet deep below
Oh my
the
gosh,
surface.
that is really deep.
It is below a convection layer of the ocean's waters. So in that, it doesn't get a lot of the sediments that might often get
Oh,
trapped
there you
as
are.
there's the mixing of the water.
Right, right.
It has all that essential trace mineral content that comes to us, and it is naturally white and pure as you see it.
I gotta get a taste of this.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's just pristine. It has that purity that I can taste that. Everything you're talking about, and it's really a high tone, almost a sweetness to it. The flavor of this salt can enhance a million different dishes. I can't wait to get started cooking some. Thanks for having me over, Teresa. It really is cool to be here.
Thank you for coming.
You bet. This is the purest, most pristine salt I've ever tasted. But some Hawaiian salt producers take it a step further by infusing their sea salt with things like red alea clay from the islands or this stunning black lava. It's no wonder those Hawaiians love this black lava salt. It's incredible, and they came up with it obviously because look around me, there's black lava everywhere I look, and there's an ocean full of salt. Now I've got an even better idea. I'm gonna take this black lava salt and create a great rub on a New York strip steak. I mean, this is a natural. When you take this black lava salt and rub it in to the surface, it creates like a crispy crust. And I love the flavor that it has. It's like a really bright tone to your steak. And it's kind of smoky and adds a really nice charcoal touch. I mean, if you taste this stuff, it's already charcoal. Now, a little crushed red pepper. Look, it looks like lava already. I'm gonna make this kind of spicy because this is a black lava steak after all. Black pepper as well, plenty of it. Turn your steak over, do the same thing. And as you're rubbing it in, you'll see that it starts to release that lava right into the surface of the meat. And that's part of what's really cool about this. It works its way in and really sets the tone for that New York strip. Just drizzle on some olive oil, like so. And just rub that in also. Just turn it over, working everything in. Look at that, it's ready to hit the grill. So I'm just gonna put this on a screaming hot fire so I get a super good sear right away. By the way, I'm using Kiave charcoal. It's the same as mesquite here in the Hawaiian Islands. And I like that charcoal because I get a great woodsy flavor. It's gonna cook about 5 minutes on each side. Toss on a red bell pepper too. Roasting them on a fire like this doesn't take very long at all. Chars the outside of the skin, gets the inside sweet and soft. Now while my steak is cooking, I'm gonna whip up a honey, Maui onion, and lemon sauce. Maui onions are one of the sweetest onions that I know of. I'm gonna do probably 3 of these. Seems like a lot, but by the time they're all cooked down in the sauce, it really isn't that much. Okay, let's go. Great, my steak is ready. Before I get those onions going, I'm gonna take it off the grill, set it aside, let it rest for at least 5 minutes, get all those juices to work its way into the meat. If you cut it now, they're all gonna come out. Butter. Butter in a hot pan. Take about 2 tablespoons. Now it's time for 3 sweet Maui onion. They go right in. Just turn them around, coat them with that butter, start them caramelizing. You're gonna get them lightly browned and sweet right here in the pan. Okay, it's time to take that red bell pepper off. I mean, it's sweet and soft and charred. Put it right next to your steak. Now that my onions are browning, I'm gonna hit it with a clove or 2 of fresh minced garlic. Man, the onions look good. It's time to throw in some of one of my favorite honeys, white Hawaiian honey. This stuff is pearlescent, silky, smooth, and creamy. Comes from the Kiave tree in Hawaii. I'm gonna throw in a couple tablespoons. The sweetness is gonna really play well against that black lava flavor. Next, I'm gonna grab a lemon, give it a great zest over there, get all that lemon oil into their pan, slice it in half, squeeze it dry, get all the juice into there, gives it a great citrus touch. Grab some flat leaf parsley, chop it up. I like flat leaf because it's a great botanical flavor. Love it. Look at those flavors coming together. I'm gonna introduce you to piadina dough. This is an Italian flatbread, and it's wonderful. It's silky little handkerchiefs they make in Italy, and every woman in Italy makes these her own special way, okay? What I do is I put them on a hot grill. Just take them, flap them on there. This recipe is so easy. You can find this recipe in my book, Grilled Pizzas and Piadinas, or on flavorhunting.com. These are gonna grill in a flash. It's like 1 minute per side. Look at those bubbles forming. It's gorgeous. And this one's ready already, look at that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for nice little flecks of the caramelized surface on that piadina bread. And these are so tender because they puff up and everything is flaky and thin. I rinsed off that roasted red pepper, got rid of those seeds. Now I'm gonna slice her up. My steak has rested long enough, and I'm gonna carve it into thin strips. Now it's time to put all this together. First, that sweet Maui onion, honey and lemon sauce. That's looking really good. Now I'll take the steak and put it all around the onions. I'm gonna build myself a little volcano here. Now let's top it off with the fire roasted peppers. Right on the top, like the lava. Oh, that looks good. Nice, okay. A little bit black lava on top, black lava salt, and a piadina. I'm gonna grab some Maui onion, a couple of roasted peppers, and of course some of that delicious steak. couple slices of that. This is so delicious. The flavor of that black lava salt and how it plays against that kiawe honey, sweet and salty, it's remarkable. Wow, you may have never heard of a kiawe tree, but I'm going to show you how this incredible honey is produced.
Driving a couple of hours up the side of a mountain transformed the coastline of the sea into a fertile valley that led me to the home of Volcano Island honey and master beekeeper Richard Spiegel.
Richard,
Hey, Craig.
it's great to be here. Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
Welcome to Hawaii. Would you like to see what we're doing here?
Absolutely, I can't wait.
All right, I'll
I'm
show you
really
my honey
excited.
house. This is the honey house where we do our extracting and bottling. After you, sir.
I got a chance to see the handmade wooden frames for the beehives and the care they take to make the purest product with nothing wasted. But I was most interested to see the bees themselves. So I got dressed up for a scene from a science fiction movie and headed out to the hives with Richard.
Well, this is where they store their honey. There's a queen excluder down here, and that keeps the bees, the queen and the brood and the babies and the eggs all down here. And this is their place to store their surplus honey. When it's capped over, the honey is ready. Well, this is fully capped.
Okay.
And we're going to look for some that are not fully capped. This means that this is really ripened and ready for storage and ready for extraction for us.
These bees are beautiful little creatures.
So this gives you a better idea of how they work. But you can see this honey is ready, and this nectar is yet to be dehydrated and turned into honey and then capped over. What I was going to try to do is get under all your armor and give you a taste. If you're feeling brave, pull a glove off, open that zipper a little bit, and fresh
Definitely
honey.
worth the reward.
And it's warm.
Just put my hand in there and get a little.
Just stick your finger in there and get a little
All right.
taste. Yeah,
Oh my
get a bunch.
God. It tastes so pure. That's the bottom line.
There it is.
It's so clean tasting.
It really is. So I'm going to put this back in, and I'm going to go down yet one more box.
Great. Am I gonna be covered? I'd love to have like bees all over me like this.
You
know?
would? Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's see what happens.
These bees don't seem the least bit aggressive at all. In fact, they're so sweet and gentle, and they're just cool. They're just mellow, hanging out, doing their thing. And I just think it's not at all what I expected.
No.
But
And,
of course, I got this great gear on.
Right, that makes you feel confident, which is what
Sure
I was
does.
hoping.
Yeah. Now they seemed, when you took that out, they
Yes,
seemed a little more nervous.
that's correct, and that's what's been happening for a moment now. Did you see that?
Yeah, see how fast I put my glove on?
Yes.
Suddenly I'm not as brave.
So
They're starting to get a little,
a little different.
yeah. You could see their attitude change right away. Now, are they getting upset with us, or are they just like, there's just so
Well,
many
they're-
of them and you
they're-
disturbed them?
Well,
and
we're disturbing their entire home.
right.
Their entire
Well, that would upset me too a
hive.
little bit, I guess.
Here's something. I'm getting stung. You
Oh, I can see that.
You
Ah,
see
good
the
for
stingers?
you.
You see the bee is stuck to me?
Yeah.
And the bee is trying to fly away.
Doesn't that hurt a lot? You're so calm.
It's
How many
not
times
too
have you been
bad.
stung
I've
in
been
your life?
stung a lot. And I don't want
bet.
this bee to die, so I'm going to...
You can stop them from dying?
Yes, what I did was I scraped it out so that the stinger stayed with the bee and didn't stay with me. So all I did was get some venom. And the venom is good for arthritis. And I'm pushing 67, 68, so I'm doing my arthritis treatment.
Richard, thank you for breaking open your hive for me and let me take a look inside. This was absolutely fascinating, but I'm dying to get into some of that honey. Can we go taste some? I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll go taste some honey in the jar. So you saw the bees,
Yeah.
and you got to get that extracted and in the bottle. And with the white honey, when you actually get it in the bottle, it will crystallize in about 2 days. That speedy crystallization will make it smooth and creamy.
Wow, it's a lot thicker than I imagined.
Yep, it's
Wow, look at
crystals.
It's like vanilla buttercream, creamier and more delicious. I mean, silky.
All right.
How do you do that?
Well, it's meticulous timing and cleanliness.
Richard, mahalo. And mahalo is thank you, right? I want to make sure.
That's correct.
I was saying the right thing.
You're very welcome, and aloha to you.
You bet.
And come back when you feel inspired to do so.
Great.
Leaving the hives, I had a new respect for those hardworking bees and the incredible honey they produce. But now it was time for a little Hawaiian relaxation.
Now I'm getting a traditional Lomilomi massage. To the Hawaiians, this is much more than a rub down. It's all about centering the energy within you, about the love that's in your heart. And I'm really loving this. Man, that Lomilomi massage made me feel like $1,000,000. You know, the Hawaiians have a dish called Lomilomi. It's a fish preparation inspired by the massage. Right here, I'm gonna make you a grilled pizza using Lomilomi mahi-mahi. This is a piece of fresh mahi-mahi. Mahi-mahi is a Hawaiian fish. It's beautiful when it's fresh like this. You can see the sheen, the iridescence, and the red coloring. Just take the sharpest knife you have and cut it down the center, because you want to remove some of this bloodline that runs right in the middle of the fish. You want to remove that. It's kind of strong, and you want to just, put that aside. I just love this stuff. So you just take your knife, and look at this knife I have. Nice long strokes. Cut it into about maybe 1/8 inch to about 1/4 inch. And then you need about 1 cup of this, and that's all you really need. Now the red clay salt is something that's so special here in Hawaii. You know, the island and the salt is what's combined right here. You just toss that in about a teaspoon, and this is gonna give it a red color and cure it. Like I said, the proteins are gonna tighten up, and it's gonna be absolutely special. Lime zest. Grab your microplane, give it a hit like that. Love this. Lime juice. Good squeeze. And then the habanero pepper. There's a ton of power in one of these babies, so you gotta look out. Okay, if you don't like it so hot, just take out the seeds, but I happen to like it really hot, so I'm gonna keep it in. And I think it works because I'm gonna put some sweet pineapple sauce on this a little bit later. And I think with the heat and the sweet, it combines, and it's just what I'm looking for. So now I wanna put just a drop of liquid smoke in there. This is liquid mesquite, and this is like hitting this with a little bit of campfire. Just 1 drop, because it's concentrated. Okay, now is the time when you want to work all those ingredients into the fish. You just take your hand and give it a massage. This is why it's called Lomilomi, and it's inspired by the massage, because you want to work it in. Work the lime juice in, work the salt in, and as you do this, you can start to see the red clay open up. I mean, it just releases from that salt and works its way into the fish. So now I got all these things worked in really well. I'm gonna put this on ice for about an hour and let these flavors do their thing. Now you can't cook in Hawaii without cooking with pineapple. And this is a Maui Gold pineapple. It's super ripe. You can tell at home when your pineapple's ripe. Just take one of these spears out. And if they pop out like that, you know the inside is soft, juicy, and ripe, ready to go. I'm gonna cut this pineapple up into 1/2-inch pieces. Now that I have my pineapple cut up, I'm gonna make a sweet and spicy glaze using my white kiave honey. This stuff is gonna give it a killer flavor. Crack open your white kiave honey, and in a pan over medium heat, add about 2 tablespoons. Then add in about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Grab a fresh lemon, scrape it across the microplane, get all that zest. That's where your oil is, what's gonna build the flavor. Slice the lemon open and squeeze all the juice into the pan. Grab a fresh piece of ginger, scrape it across the microplane. You're gonna use about a teaspoon. This is gonna give it a great spicy flavor. Grab 1 cup of that fresh pineapple, throw it in your pan, and stir it in. Let this simmer for about 5 minutes and you're gonna start to see all those flavors concentrating, building around that pineapple until it starts to shine. So now it's time for me to roll out my whole wheat grilled pizza dough. You can find the recipe at flavorhunting.com or in my book, Grilled Pizzas and Piadinas. It's best to roll this one out about 1/8 of an inch, nice and thin. That will work the best. So now it's nice and thin, it's ready to go on a grill. It's easy to get this thing on a grill. Just take it to your grill and set it down like this. Look at that. Just stand tight. Don't leave the scene because this has got to cook rather quickly. It's gonna take maybe 3 minutes and then you're gonna start to see the bubbles already. Look at the bubbles rise. I can't believe it. This is when it gets exciting because you start to see like the surface of the moon happening right in front of your eyes. It's all the steam and it's the yeast, of course, rising, giving it that action. Just start to turn it around. That's what I want to see. Okay, flip it over. This is your top side. And you want all these tender little flavors here. You got some going on that's charred and the rest is just a little bit less. And that's what you want, a little variation in the textures and the tastes. Okay, now it's time for some extra virgin olive oil. The golden green goodness that's gonna soak right into that crust. I love the way this varnishes your pizza crust and all the colors that you put in there with the grill, they come right out. Look at that, great. Parmesan cheese, I like to get a good one. Parmesan Reggiano has a great flavor, salty and buttery, and it blends right into that oil. It gives you a nice base so nothing will soak through and get into your crust and make it soggy. Put on as much as you like. That's about right. Mozzarella cheese, this holds everything together. It keeps the ingredients that you're gonna put on after this in place and also gives it like a milky dairy touch, you know? I like that. Okay, now it's time to put on my spicy sweet pineapple glaze. These chunky chunks are gonna keep this cheese company. Just drop them on like this, here and there. You wanna see the cheese poking through. Little pillows of golden goodness in here. And you know, this sauce now has got a nice caramel tone to it. And the spiciness of the ginger, the lemon zest is really shining through. Just take it over to your grill, lay it down just like this next to it and slide it off. Look at that, it's easy. Now it's gonna take about 3 minutes to cook the bottom of this, but I like to singe my pineapple and bring out even more flavor. So I incorporate a man's tool here, a favorite of mine. Burn the pineapple a little bit with the blowtorch. You're gonna see the caramel come up. Look at that. This is one of my secret techniques. Now, if you don't have one of these, it's okay. You don't have to do this. It's just part of the fun for me. You'll see that the crust starts to singe on the side. You can't beat that. That's what it's all about. Grab your pair of tongs because it's ready. I'm gonna slide it right off. Get your board, slide it right next to it. Bring it on. Now, of course, that Lomilomi mahi-mahi that we prepared earlier. You can see the flecks of the habanero chili, and now the fish has changed. It's actually cured with the red alea salt and the fresh lime juice. Just take it, dab it on just like this. One here, one there. To finish off my grilled pizza, I'm gonna add some fresh toppings. Get a red onion and slice it nice and thin. Then grab a fresh vine-ripe tomato, as red as you can find, and dice it up. Some green onions are good, and I like to give them a good chop like that. Tear up some fresh cilantro. Next, caper berries. These add a great puckery taste. Oh my gosh, does that look good? I like to top it off with just a little crunch of that red alea salt. It heightens those flavors. And now it's time to cut her up. It's time for the payoff. Oh my gosh, this is so delicious. The way these flavors come together, it reminds me it has to be party time.